Hello, everybody. Tim Sweden here. I'm back on the airwave and the light wave, so whatever you want to call it. I did a couple of episodes regarding my own channel. I had various names for that. I tried to do my own channels, and it didn't work out too good. I didn't got too many followers, but it was fun anyway. I got up to a couple of hundred sometimes, but I decided I wanted to be a part of more serious discussions about American and Swedish, and why not call it world politics? And also regarding music, more serious talks about real artists and real music about, my favorite artist is Prince, as many of you know. And I've been around him and his shows for many, many years. And during that time, I've met a lot of the band members of his various bands. And it's been a fun ride with Prince and many other artists. So I wanted to start up a new channel here to have that as sort of my own little ventilation thing, to get out of my system everything I want to just say to people regarding Swedish politics, the situation here in Sweden. I was a part of Ronis and my show called Situation USA that we had up until just after the US election, I should say. I got coronavirus for 5-6 weeks, and I'm just getting back to normal now. And I'm going to contact Ronnie again and see if we're going to do more episodes. I haven't heard from him for a while. But anyway, I'm a part of various different YouTube shows. I've been interviewed on SVT, Swedish television, and Swedish radio regarding Donald Trump and the US election. And I thought that was kind of interesting to be able to share my view of things that the Swedish media does not share with the Swedish consumers of media, whether it's newspapers or radio or TV. It's mostly fake here, especially about Donald Trump and many other things. So I wanted to start my new channel here and basically also test here, try out my new microphone, try out my new camera. I'm going to do a better backdrop later, but I don't see a big problem with having Prince and Bob Marley and my favorites behind me for now. So I hope you can live with that until I arrange a better green screen or some kind of backdrop later on. The reason I'm doing this in English is that I have noticed that my English when I lived in Florida and New York used to be much better than what it is today. I guess I know most of the English words, but my dialect has sort of become more and more Swinglish, which I don't like. And I guess it's a part of the Corona situation and things that happened before that I haven't been able to be in the States now for a couple of years. It's actually the first time since 1987 that I haven't been in the United States for 2 years. I was in the Caribbean last year in March, during the basically pandemic outbreak then of COVID-19, and we got sent home after 6 days. So that was a tragic situation for us. We had planned to stay there much longer. But anyway, I think that I want to do this in English because I have a lot of English friends, like in Miami. Hello, Gershman. I have Tito up in New York. Hey, Tito, long time no see. And also Barry, of course, Mr. Barry in North Carolina. And Gunnar and Göran down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hello, my friends. And also, I have already interviewed lately a couple of very nice artists who used to play with Prince. And we are sending these shows in a podcast or a vodcast and a pod that we have, a couple of friends of mine here in Sweden, called Say What. So tune into that on YouTube as well. Say What is a music channel, a funk and soul channel, basically, where we interview artists that we know, artists whom we have met, and also, just artists that play music that we like, basically. And we try to reach out to them and we interview them. We play live clips. We show parts of their concerts, and we have them discuss with us and tell us about their music life and how things turned out to be for them before, when they started their music careers, how it was playing with Prince and other artists and what they're doing today during the pandemic and so on. So it's a very nice show, and it's fun, it's newsworthy, and it's great music. So on YouTube, you just search for Say What Vodcast. And I think we are on episode 9 now. And more very interesting episodes will come shortly. And it's different band members like Elisa Fiorillo, who also sang and played with Prince. Eric Leeds, of course, Jelly Bean Johnson, also famous in his own name. He has released lots of music with other artists. I think he has 20 golden and platinum albums, something like that. So that's an interesting show. And I'm also a part of this friend of mine now, new friend that I found down in the Philippines, a Swedish guy that lives down there. And he interviews people and he talks about news, mostly about Swedish news, a little bit about the US and Donald Trump and so on also, but he talks about it in a way that got me curious. So I contacted him and he interviewed me. He calls his show basically Today's Insanity. And what he means with that is that a lot of things in the world doesn't look right. And I agree with him, especially during the pandemic. You see how so many different countries are acting differently in regards of the regulations that they have. If you can be so and so many in a restaurant, if a restaurant and a bar have to close down temporarily, if you can demonstrate for certain things outside, why can you only be 8 people in a group? Why does it have to be distancing between tables in bars and restaurants? And all that's fine in a way, except that when they do it so crazy and insane, that makes people believe that this is it's wrong in so many ways. So I like this guy down in the Philippines, and he interviewed me, and we got a lot of views, actually, I think around 4,000. And it was the first time I was on his show, and we talked about Sweden mostly, and basically about the situation here now, that a lot of people in Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö, they're demonstrating on Saturdays against not the corona pandemic as the police and the media says. It's fake as usual. They demonstrate against the pandemic regulations that basically says that, let's take the restaurants now, that they used to be open till 11, 12, and 1, and some longer later. Then they chose to change that to 10 o'clock. Then they chose that every restaurant that sells alcohol, they have to close at 8 or 8:30 p.m. So we were thinking, like, what's wrong? I mean, can this virus from China, has it suddenly learned how to read the watch, or what's going on here? And now the insanity grew. Vansinnet, as we say in Sweden, the crazy vansinnet, the insanity, when they changed these regulations even to regular hamburger joints. Like, let's say that you go to a hamburger joint, you want a hot dog or a burger or a kebab or whatever, and they can still be open till 11, 12, or 1 at night, but you can't go inside in their little hut, so to say, where it basically has space for 8 people then, because they have to close the inside little joint at 8:30 p.m. But you can still buy this burger and a hot dog outside in the little window there. So if people are cold, they will jam up like really close to each other. Well, then this virus is spreading like wildfire. But you can be inside between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and crowd up over lunch, and people order this and that and blah, blah, then it's okay. So it makes no sense how they come to these regulations. Let's say soccer. You see some games, Premier League in England, they have spectators on the arenas there in some cities, but not in others. The Australian Open tennis, they had 8,000 people. I think they have room for 16,000 when Nadal and Djokovic and everybody played there. Then suddenly it was an outbreak in Melbourne. 40 people got infected. However, they know that it was just 40. What about all of the others that didn't check their blood, did a COVID test? So anyway, then they decided that should be tennis without any people inside for 5 days. Then during the semis and the finals, women and men, it was 8,000 people again. Suddenly that worked fine. So it's all about that these demonstrations, they will spread from country to country. I saw in Argentina now recently, Belgium, Germany, Spain, and so on, because as Donald Trump said, and he has said many stupid things, but he have said even more smart things. And one smart thing was that the solution can't be worse than the actual disease. And think about it, suicides, family arguments, violence in the family, violence in the street, problems in restaurants, discussing, oh, you're sitting too close to me, don't cough, you're sick. And then they blame everybody and everybody gets angry and mad at each other and so on and so on. And so I think that it's interesting to talk to you, the viewers that I'm going to build now. So this is episode 1 of Tim Sweden. I'm just going to call it Tim Sweden and have an under text just saying the different topics I want to talk about. So everybody who wants to be a part of this show can contact me, write down in the comment section if you want. I would prefer also if you subscribe, hit the notification bell down there, and don't miss an episode here. And I will also link things to other shows. I will put links to our Say What music channel and our music show. And I will put links to this guy down in the Philippines. If he approves of that, I'm going to have an interview with him again on Friday. And I'm going to talk to other political commentators who have YouTube channels up in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm down in Malmö here next to Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm going to put other information in the comment section regarding political stuff, music stuff, the corona pandemic stuff, sports, all kinds of stuff, anything that interests me, everything that I want to sit here and talk about to myself, to the camera, hello camera, and to the microphone, hello microphone. I'm just going to sit here and talk and see how many viewers do I get after a month, after 6 months, after a year, and who knows what's going on here. And you can write in the comment section what you want me to talk about. You can write down in the comment section if you want me to add things or if you want to be part of it, if you want to be part of an interview with me. And I will share this channel both in the States and in Sweden to friends, relatives, and other. And of course, I'm going to do some shows in Swedish as well. I just wanted to do this first episode in English to try to get my English back again. And in order to get my American friends, who I named a little bit, and other American friends, and people in England that I know and so on, to subscribe to my channel. And then, like I said, write comments and questions, and let's see what happens. Most of these shows that I follow on YouTube are either just a person who sits and talks like I do now. Some, a person who is saying something about the political situation in Sweden, about immigration, about our government and how bad they are. And, and other channels that I listen to talk about everything from Sweden to other countries. And also channels that I follow in America, Republican channels or Democratic channels or whatever it is. I just listen to what they say and I comment and I take that news and I want to share that news with you, because a lot of my Swedish friends, they're not following American news, but there are several things that I know that they're interested in. The same goes for many of my Swedish friends. I don't know if I said that, but whatever, vice versa. Swedish friends and American friends, they don't check out news from the other side of the pond, so to say. So I think that's kind of interesting to hear from everybody and see how you see the pandemic regulations. How do you see the spring break situation that was in Miami Beach now? Was that a crazy thing that they closed down Miami Beach, Ocean Drive, and so on from 8 p.m. and because of young people coming there partying like crazy due to the spring break? Of course, they fly in from all over America, and who knows if they're infected or not. So I think the problem wasn't that. The problem was that they didn't arrange some areas for these people coming in pre-hand, knowing damn well it's the spring break time, Why didn't they build up things or talk to the restaurants and have guards and arranging things on the beach? No, instead they just let the chaos build and then they closed it down. So I want to hear you American guys and also my Swedish viewers, what do you think about that? And how should we open up? How do you want to open up? I know that Florida is more open up than California, for instance, and New York is a mess. Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio, in my view, I'm sorry, Tito, and all my other friends in New York, if you don't agree with me, but it's pretty obvious that they have destroyed the city. I don't think Manhattan will ever be what it was before, at least not in my lifetime. I'm sorry to say that. I used to love Manhattan, even though I know it's a super Democrat blue state, but Manhattan has always been wonderful to me, and Brooklyn and Queens and Harlem and New Jersey. I've never, cared so much about the political situation in America until Trump started to run for president. And, I have so many good things to say about Donald Trump, and I have so many bad things to say about Donald Trump. But even so, the political system in America is total chaos. It's been for long. And so far, Biden has totally wrecked the country. He's ruining it with his open border system and everything he's doing to support the wrong things and tearing up Trump's laws and regulations and other ideas that he did. I mean, he was so close to build the wall. He did 500 miles. It's like this left to finish the wall. And now it's an immigration case of never seen proportions before. Children and people lying in metal foil beds and stuff, and they said that Trump put children in cages, which was a pure lie. Those cages that you saw on CNN, that was Obama's cages, not Trump's. So there are many good things to say about Trump and many bad things to say about Trump, but you can definitely say that Biden is ruining the country with the help of Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, who is going to be the worst president ever if she falls for their Green New Deal guys, Ilhan Omar and Talib and those crazy people, and Bernie, he's like the most crazy of them all. But anyway, that's interesting to talk about. That's interesting to hear from both Swedish, English, and American viewers. What do you think about that? How should the rest of America open up? How should we open up in Scandinavia? How should we open up in Europe? I mean, Sweden have had a totally different approach to this than Norway and Denmark and Finland. Even so, I think that we have had a better approach than Denmark and Norway in the sense that they closed down for long periods of time. Everything, all of the restaurants and bars and stores and basically everything was closed except you could go out and get groceries. But I mean, we have had everything open of importance. Stores, supermarkets, malls, restaurants, bars, pubs, but yeah, they had to close earlier. We have to keep our distance. They have recommended that you wear a mask on buses and trains during the most crowded times, of course, in the morning and in the evening. But it's never been a law. We haven't been forced to do it. It's been up to us to follow the guidelines. And I think that most people have followed them pretty okay. There have been some problems here and there, but I'd rather do it this way than be in a country that closes down everything for 2 months and the schools are closed and the kids go crazy and the parents go crazy. And I just think that that's the wrong approach to this. We have to open up this coming spring, government, Levin. We have to open up, like in Florida. DeSantis there has done a great job in comparison to the crazy guy Newsom in California. He has totally ruined that state in the same manner as Cuomo have in New York. Sorry to say, but that's the God's honest truth. And, football, soccer, as we say, you say in America, we say in America, football, soccer, it's outside, just like tennis in Australia. If you can be 8 people outside in the street, if you can be 4 people in a restaurant on the same table, like 4, maximum 50 people, they will take that up to 500 soon again for the bigger events and so on. But come on, if you can be 50 people inside restaurants and bar and 4 on each table, how come you can sit 4 and then space 4 up and down on a football arena? It's just total craziness that the football teams and soccer teams will lose money from the ticket sales. And also the same thing goes for outside concerts. We have something called Sweden Rock. I think it's in June. And they will most likely not be able to have all these bands coming in. Why not just arrange so that you can be outside in a safe manner? Keep distance, don't sell 30,000 tickets, sell 15,000. Have a wider spread of the bar tents and the stages and so on and so on. There's so many easy things to do to be able to keep distance. During this period from March last year, 2020, to March this year, 2021, I have been as careful as can be. I have walked around, in the grocery stores, changed the aisle when some people are coming that way towards me. I've kept my breath, like walk that way, breathe again. I've done everything I can, but I haven't avoided life. I've been outside, restaurants, bars, the beach. But of course, if you see a lot of people there, if a place doesn't care as much as another place about social distancing and hand what do you call it, the hand vodka. I wish it was so I could drink it and then take it on my hands, spit a little. But anything, that disinfection stuff, then it's up to me. Then I choose a table at another place, or I even choose another bar or another restaurant or another whatever it is. It's up to me to be careful about my health and my situation. Unfortunately, I still got a bad case of corona December 23rd. I got 2 weeks of fever and a super bad cough situation. Thank God I have a doctor friend, hello doc, who gave me Coquilana or Cochilana, however you want to pronounce it, a morphine-based cough medicine. Without that, I would have died, obviously. I mean, it was terrible. And after that, I got after COVID, as they say. I had 3-4 weeks of seriously bad lungs. I had no stamina for nothing. If I walked 100 yards to the store, I had to go home and rest for 2 days. I got dizzy spells. I felt really weird. And then I got to do a lung x-ray. And my doctor said, hey, Mr. Tim, have you ever worked with asbestos? And I said, asbestos, that's crazy stuff. Of course not. By the way, maybe when I was younger and I did as we say, a black job under the table when you get money that you don't pay tax for, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I did some crazy stuff when I was 18 to 22. I was some weeks a part of building the Globe Arena in Stockholm. And it happened some places there when we tore down old buildings, and it was probably some stuff with asbestos in it. But anyway, they said that they found some white stuff around my lungs that shouldn't be there. And I heard about COVID lungs, so I asked if it was that. So a couple of weeks later, actually last week, I got to do a, what do you call that in English? In Sweden, we say skiktröntgen. It's a X-ray in another way, like a shift. Like this X-ray, so they see the lines separate. You can help me with that word. Shift X-ray, it's not, but anyway, you know what I mean. And then they said, oh, those white spots are gone. You're totally free from COVID now. I got my proof here. I got actually it was the 21st of January. I did a antibody test. So I got this antibody test. I got to print out the new one. I see. Anyway, and it basically says Tim Borgqvist positive, plenty of antibodies. And that means that when I meet people sometimes, they are a little nervous and, I still have a little after cough and so on. And I say, no, I'm fine. I've had it and I'm free from the virus. I have antibodies, don't worry about it. Yeah, but you can still be affected again. Yeah, but most doctors I talk to, and scientists that I've read about and seen on YouTube, they at least say that if I get infected again, first of all, it's most likely that I don't even know about that because my antibodies should take care of it. If I get sick, then I'm a very, very small percent who gets really sick again. I hope not. But also, when you're asymptomatic, I think it's called, oh, the mail got in. Hello, mailman. Anyway, if you're asymptomatic, is that what you say in English too? Asymptomatic, when you don't have symptoms, okay? Then you don't spread the virus to others, at least not as much as if you're sick. I mean, our own guy here in Sweden, Mr. Tegnell, who talks on TV every day about the corona situation, has clearly stated that if you feel sick, you should stay at home. If you have to go out, you should wear a mask because the mask can protect others a little bit. But these blue paper masks, come on, people, they don't protect you for shit from a sick person if you're well. I mean, you can compare it to building a fence. You know these metal fences who are open that you can see through this big? Have you ever built one of those to protect your garden from mosquitoes? It's just as ridiculous to have these masks because a virus is smaller than those. What do you call that in English then? Well, now I got to learn more English words. I can see that. But the mask anyway is built of cotton, produced by of cotton and plastic and other things. And the virus just comes through right through and also on the sides here in chup, chup, chup. So you see people smoking, they take it up and down and they cough and they spit and shit. And then they use that mask again. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I think and hope that the world will produce some kind of vaccine pass. No, I was wrong now. I'm not, it's not coming out right now. My brain is confused here. I don't want the vaccine pass because that means that we might have to or be forced to take the vaccine in order to be able to travel in the future. I mean, I can accept that you take a test on the airport or on the date of your flight. And as I can do, prove that I have antibodies. If I have antibodies plus a new test, then I'm fine. Why should I then need to wear a mask on the plane? It's ridiculous. I was doing this X-ray, as I just stated, and I couldn't breathe after 5 minutes. I have to talk to the nurses there. I said, I can't breathe. I don't know if it's due to my COVID lungs or whatever it is, but I really can't breathe. I think it's terrible with the mask. So they told me, you get a cheat, take it down under your nose like that. So I did that, but I don't want to mess around with that on a plane. So I checked with the American Embassy and SAS last week, and they say that I can actually apply with a doctor's note that I can't breathe with the mask, and that get some kind of temporarily permission to fly without using a mask. But what happens if everybody else wears a mask and I'm sitting there coughing a little bit? Then everybody's going to be mad at me, you know. So anyway, I want countries to produce, if necessary, an antibody, sort of say an antibody approval that you can have in your passport or with your ID. Either or both antibody and corona test approval that you don't have the virus in your system. But if you force people to do a vaccine or to have a vaccine passport, that means that you're actually forcing people to take the vaccine, even if, like me, I won't. I will refuse it as long as I can. They say, oh, no, Tim, don't worry. No country can force you to actually take the needle in your arm. No, but I'm sort of forced to if they say, well, if you don't, you can't travel. So, you know, a vaccine passport or a vaccine approval card or something, that's insane, because even with the little scientific knowledge I have about this virus and other viruses, I think I know one thing for sure, because I think all of the scientists and doctors I've seen or talked to say the same thing. Your antibodies in your system after being infected are much stronger than the antibodies your body built after getting the shot. So if you get a shot and your body produces antibodies, how do you know how long those will last? So you got to take shot number 2. Well, after how long time? And how long does shot number 2 lasts? And what are the side effects from this shot? And what's inside? I read an article the other day about what the 20 different ingredients in the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, and the AstraZeneca vaccine, and it's not nice things. I mean, in one of those vaccines, there are trace elements of chimpanzee blood. How is that for a blood transfusion? Getting some monkey in, you know, fuck that. Anyway, so, and then, you know, you still can infect other people then. If they say that you have antibodies, but if you get infected again from somebody that coughs in your face or something, well, that's the same then if I have antibodies or if you have antibodies from a shot. So why would that be an easier way for countries to say that, oh, you're welcome to my country because you took the vaccine? I should be able to say, well, I have an antibody test approval here, because everybody should know then that those antibodies are stronger than the others. So that's one thing. I'm babbling now, but I think it's important to try to talk to people about how are we going to open up. It's a terrible situation. My friend Barry, if you watch this, I mean, you told me about North Carolina. My friend Tito in New York is basically not mailing me anymore. I don't know what's up with that, but I guess it's the Corona situation that makes people stressed out, and they're not as, my friends in America, they are not as happy anymore. I can tell that they're not so open in talking about things, joking, sending funny stuff. It's sort of a Corona depression I can see on a lot of people. I hope I'm wrong, but so Tito, Barry, everybody, Gershi, Gunnar, Jörn, if you watch this, send me an email or write a comment down here and let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know if you want to be part of an interview. Göran, Barry, Gunnar, you would be fun. Even Tito, you would be great to have on this show for me so that we can ask each other questions, sit and talk. I can share the screen. You have your screen, I have mine, and we just do an episode of everything you want to talk about. Anything from political stuff, sports, Corona, I guess those are the three major things now, and of course music. So let's say we talk about world politics, music, sport, and the Corona situation. Those are the 4 hot topics today. Okay, I got to round off now so that this thing doesn't take too long today, but I'm going to put this out on YouTube in a while. I'm going to check this out, see how it turned out with the mic. Is it too close? Do I have to be up here and say, hello, everybody? This is Radio Tim. We're going to listen to Let's Go Crazy with Prince. No, we're not. But anyway, or does it sound okay from this regular distance here? I thought until I do a backdrop here, I thought I wanted to have Bob Marley and Prince with an open view. The mic is a little bit in the way. I would actually like to have it up here or something where it doesn't show. My new camera is up there. This is not my Mac camera. So I think that I can already see that it's not so corny and foggy and dusty as the Mac camera is. So hopefully this camera is creating a better result. I know I can go in and do certain Manix fix inside the system here, but I'm not so good at that. We have a meeting at 6 p.m. here today, Swedish time, 12 p.m. Eastern, US. And we're going to talk about Say What. So we're soon airing the 10th episode of Say What. So go into that as well. I'm going to put some links below later and try to do an episode or 2 a week of this thing here, because I have afternoons pretty clear now. When I work, I usually work mornings and late nights actually. So in the afternoons here in Sweden, I'm going to try to do a little bit like that and record and these episodes about everything as we said. So Tim Sweden, babbling along, saying goodbye for now. Let me know what you want to talk about, if it's over my 4 mentioned topics, and I'll see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.